here. Run, step on his toes and then fade him, Rashad. Run, step on his toes and then fade him.
You need a punter to save you with a perfect. What is he doing? What? This is the XFL.
You need to change the whole entire game plan at halftime.
Hey, what do you need to change about the game plan? What are you frustrated about?
There's just a lot going on right out now. It's embarrassing for us here as an offense, so a lot of things we want to fix and correct.
XFL Week 2 is in the books. XFLOL Podcast Week 2 begins right now. I'm joined, as always, with my brother Wesley Kleitch.
Hey, guys.
I also got Bear here, as always.
What's up, y'all?
And we got a new guy in the booth with us today. Let's say hello to our friend and lawyer, Josh Ogle.
I'm not your lawyer, but I am your friend.
How much do you need from me? How much money to get all my parking tickets taken care of?
More than you got.
More than the parking
You
tickets?
should just pay the parking tickets.
All right, fair enough. Well, fuck parking tickets. Let's get into football, you guys. Week 2, overall feelings of Week 2. What'd you think, Wes?
Sophomore slump.
Yeah.
Not especially Saturday. Those games were not all that fun to watch. Sunday came around, better games. More exciting finishes, definitely for both of them. But, yeah.
I think the games in a whole can be said, like, the first halves were boring, the second halves were better. Much as the week in a whole, like, the first couple of games weren't as great or as close or as fun to watch as we would want them to be. But the second halves, they all seem to turn it around. Well, some of them at least. Bear, what'd you think?
I was entertained. I get those low-scoring affairs. I know that the XFL was set up to be, all offense, run and gun, sling it kind of football league, but I kind of like this these defensive battles that we've been seeing. Like it's just looking like the offenses haven't really been clicking, and the defense have been capitalizing on it. There's been a lot of turnovers. There's been a lot of games that were lost due to turnovers this week, and I mean, just as a football fan, I loved it.
In the red zone, too, the turnovers in the red zone were very hard to watch as a fan because you want to see scores. You want to see them march it down the field and put it in the end zone, and they weren't doing that last part. Josh, fresh take.
I mean, I think you guys are being a little tough on things. Like, all the games definitely had great moments. Like, it was fun to watch. I never felt bored during any game. Watching New York get the crap kicked out of them was pretty entertaining because DC looked really good doing it.
Yeah, they're really living up to that Defenders moniker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even the Dragons Vipers game had some really cool moments in it. And it was the lowest scoring game of the week.
Yeah, don't let that what was the final score to that?
9-17 score for you.
9-17 score for you.
30,000 people at that game.
Yeah, was that
Seattle
the most
showed
attended
up.
game this week?
Oh, yeah.
By far.
Yeah. The least attended being the LA game, which we went to, and it didn't seem that bad.
It was a fun time.
It was a lot of fun.
And the people that were there, the crowd was into it. The energy was there in the stadium, especially when it came back 18-19.
Yeah, when they started playing some football, that was nice.
Yeah, it got lit. That was a fun time.
I don't mean to be so harsh. Sorry to cut you off, David. I don't mean to be so harsh on week 2, but I mean, there was no Pat McAfee, no PMAC for me. And then, obviously, I can't be the only one disappointed on the scores of these games. I know Vegas is pretty bummed about it. It was the unders on all of them, I believe, again for week 2.
One game hit the over.
Oh, okay. That must have been the last game of the week.
Yep.
Okay.
I gotta say, overall presentation week 2 from week 1, much different. It was night and day. There wasn't as much. You didn't hear as much from the coaches. When they went to the replay booth, they weren't showing the screens as they were doing the first time. There was close up on it. You could even see them working the Xbox controller, and you didn't see that this time.
I also noticed that this week there was a big difference between ABC and Fox and the way that they were calling it. Because week 1, I mean, I guess when you have people saying, we got to do our fucking job, you can't put that on TV. But Fox took out...
I sure would like if they did, though.
I know, that would be great. But Fox took out the sideline reporting for the most part. They had a couple during the games that.
So we were at the Los Angeles games. We didn't get to see it, but there were some creative sideline interviews there that I really liked. If you go back and watch that game, one there was a player laying on the ground, and the interview laid down next to him and interviewed him. That was pretty funny.
Oh wow, I missed that.
Yeah, good stuff. So A+ on that one. So. And I guess they're learning who to put the mic in front of. Obviously, I mean, we're going to start this off with the first game of the week because that's the story of the first game was Matt McGloin going off on his team. That was a perfect time to do an interview.
Yeah, it looked like him and Kevin Gilbride were having a little lover's quarrel.
Oh, yeah. That's
Head
good
coach
stuff.
and quarterback not getting along. That makes some great TV.
If I'm going to take a shutout, at least I get some drama into it. It was like a soap opera. Yes, ma'am. Give me more of that. That was great.
Benching. They sat him. He said they
he threw his team under the bus. I mean, what are you going to do?
At least the coaches.
Yeah.
Yeah, from what I understood, I felt like his little outburst was more directed towards the play calling.
Yeah.
Because
the coaches are the ones that can bench you, so
right.
Maybe don't throw them under the bus. But I thought he was also throwing his offensive line, who did not look great under the bus as well. Yeah. I think he was talking to the coach at one point, and the mic, picked up, and he definitely said, "I don't want to name any names, but they need to do their job." So he could have been talking about the coaches. It seemed to me that he was talking about the offensive line because they were not letting him do his things, but he missed a lot of open passes.
Well, on the opposite side of the field, we had great coaching of Pep Hamilton.
My favorite coach so far. Pep Hamilton is amazing.
We got it. He gave us what we asked for, the first double pass, the double forward
We got
pass.
two
Yeah, he did it twice.
Yeah.
He attempted one on an extra point.
Well,
that was for 3. I think that was the first 3-point attempt.
It was great because the first one was kind of
It was
anticlimactic.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a shovel pass for the first pass, which was a forward pass technically, but he could have just handed it off easily. And then he passed it back, so it was a forward pass, lateral, then another forward pass. So when it happened, we kind of really didn't even realize that it had happened. We thought it was another one of those double
we were like,
reverses.
wait, was that it? Was that the one?
So, but then at the end of the game, when they went for 3, they straight up, we heard the play call and everything. They called it double pass. They went double pass. It was not there, but
when you're up 27-0, you can make calls like that.
Right, and plus, I believe the announcer on TV, I believe that was ABC, said the same thing. He said that now that they've shown that play, defense has got to prepare for it. It's another thing that's going to be in the back of their mind. It's like, shit, I've got to cover just a little bit longer because...
Not only did they show that play, but they actually played the audio of them calling it, so that's another thing. They don't have to just look for it. They can listen for it, too.
Yeah, once again, which I noticed, I believe it was Pep Hamilton that said, the coaches didn't realize how much of their play calling was going to be broadcast, and he had to change up some stuff. He wasn't happy with how much that they were airing, which they kept airing it, so I feel like we're going to be getting that for the rest of the season.
Maybe we won't. Maybe they'll just drop his ass.
Let's look at the numbers at this game.
Thank you next, as Ariana
the numbers definitely tell a story.
Matt McGloin, 8 for 19, 44 yards, 2 interceptions. You got to do a better job than that.
Yeah, I mean, even if you don't have an offensive line, you've got to complete more than 8 out of 19.
They just kept sticking the mic in his face, too. They knew what they had going.
His first half, he only had 32 yards.
Yeah.
And 1 interception.
Well, then he only threw for 12 more in the second, so...
And another interception on top of it.
Yeah, he got benched.
137 net yards total for the team.
Yeah.
That's not a great showing.
Yeah.
And I mean, I was so impressed week 1 watching the Guardians play Tampa Bay, and then coming back, and they were my pick to win this game against the Defenders, and they just made me look stupid. I don't think I'll be picking the Guardians again for the rest of the season unless they have to do something to turn this around, because it was embarrassing.
Yeah. Another story of the game, Eli Rogers, a pretty good game, 5 receptions, 49 yards. Missed his mom's funeral for this one. Did you guys see this?
Yes, I did.
For love of the game.
Wrote a note. He wrote a note.
He did. He wrote a note to be read at his mom's funeral. They have a special relationship.
Yeah, obviously.
Well, they had a special relationship, I guess.
I mean, I get it. I get playoff game or something like that, but week 2 of XFL missing your mom's funeral, I'm going to throw a little shade on Eli Rogers. Are you fucking kidding me?
It's a divisional game, all right? These games matter. There's only 10 games, all right?
That's true.
And this is against New York, all right? Come on.
Yeah, but don't you think that the Defenders could have done without him this week and been perfectly fine with the way that New York was playing?
I mean, you had Tompkins. He had 92 yards and a touchdown. And then Ross had 95 yards. I mean, he was arguably the third best receiver there.
Between Ross, Rogers, and Tompkins, I mean, if you have them in your XFL fantasy leagues, congratulations, because they get thrown to a lot. and Cardale Jones, probably the MVP of the league.
Dude, he's
I
looking
disagree.
great.
I disagree
it
with
is
MVP
between-
though. I mean, what PJ Walker's doing in Houston, he's amazing out there. That guy is
I
really
agree with
showing me
that.
something.
But don't you think that his mom might be looking down from heaven and like have changed the channel with the way
Well,
that game was
you
going?
know, maybe she was like Matt McGlane wasn't that good. You know, so
Maybe that's what. Maybe it was his
we
mom's
didn't know.
spirit. Like
we didn't
fucking
know
Matt
until
McGloin.
that game.
That's
you know?
true.
So yeah, there you go. Anything else on this game you guys want to talk about?
What do you guys think the chances, DC's chances to win it all?
They're my favorites by far.
I think if anybody's going to give them trouble, it's going to be Houston.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think Houston has a real good shot. But yeah,
It's early.
with the way that they've been playing, they get like LA's my team. I know we live here, and they're becoming my favorite. But
Wow.
it's looking like DC, and I hate it because their logo is terrible. I hate the shield. I hate the design on it. It's basic as shit. They could have come up with so much better stuff. But they might be the best team in the league right now. So you can have a shitty logo when you're kicking everybody else's ass.
I'm not a huge fan of the Patriots logo, but you know, look at them.
Yeah.
So, I guess
So,
that doesn't mean anything.
I guess
Pick
it
the
don't.
shitty logos. That's what that means.
All right, next game would be the late game would be Tampa Bay in a rainy, shitty Seattle. Tampa Bay still yet to score an offensive touchdown.
Well, I thought the funny thing starting this game was the guy in Seattle that was there to light the torch or whatever, and he was waiting and waiting and
Largent.
waiting and missed his cue like I don't know 3 or 4 times, and like everybody on TV is just kind of sitting there like, okay, he's gonna light it any moment now.
Yeah, and then the angle of the camera, you couldn't even see the flame get lit.
Yeah,
so-
it's just like here it comes, and then you don't see it, and then they
and
just
the
go-
announcer is right on top of it too, going, "Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. That was a bit of a letdown, you know." So, yeah.
Well, you know, they did a similar thing at the LA game where they brought the game ball down to the fields.
as slow as possible.
Yeah, it was a long way to get a game started.
Yeah.
Right. And apparently that's going to be the tradition there at the. I wonder if they're going to put a little pep in their step or move the game ball down to make it quicker. Who knows?
I'm interested to see. Yeah.
Slide. Build a slide.
Yes,
Have a slide from the top of the stadium
a
go all the
water
way down.
slide. Yes, I
Claws
love
up.
it.
Yes.
And then you just like put an elderly woman in it right before you push her.
Yeah.
You just go claws up. And
Yeah.
then you push it.
LA's favorite, Betty White, to bring the game ball out. Woo! I love it. Oh man, yeah, you're right. Tampa Bay, no touchdowns, but they turned it over a bunch. So
They did. Now, I know we're all going to be sitting here talking about the things that Tampa Bay needs to do to get better, but I want to talk about Marcellus Branch because he's a safety for Tampa Bay, and he looked great. He was playing with a chip on his shoulder, coming in, making some big hits and some big plays. He was all over the field. Seems like the entire time I was watching that game, like he was in the middle of everything.
Oh my
like
gosh,
I
yeah.
really like watching him play.
12
Yeah.
tackles, 1 sack. That's a heck of a game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. At the end of the episode, I'm going to ask about fantasy players of the week on the upcoming week. That might be one of the favorites going in. Or
Okay.
check
Defensive
stats.
player?
It could be defensive. You know,
Okay.
we'll come up with points. We'll
Okay.
figure this out.
Seattle wins the game. Rainy game.
Tampa Bay benches Aaron Murray. I don't remember if they said he was hurt or not, but he definitely didn't play any of this game. They tried 2 other quarterbacks.
Yeah,
They did not start Flowers. We were all on that Flowers train, and then all of a sudden this Cornelius joker comes out of
cornhole.
nowhere, out of Oklahoma State, and just chumps it up. Now, Flowers didn't have himself a great game either, but
3 interceptions
But they were also-
between the 2 of
He
them.
threw one of the most remarkable interceptions I've ever seen.
that was a great play. That was a great play.
On
to
the
the
1
defender.
yard line to take a step into the end zone.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he just, that was all in one motion.
That was Taylor Cornelius, wasn't it, through that?
Yeah. No, that was Flowers.
Oh,
That's
that
what
was Quentin Flowers?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not a great offensive game by either team, really. I mean, the other team's quarterback only had 91 yards. Silver's only had 91 yards, and 68 of those yards were from 1 reception. So,
Right.
Jesus.
Well, I mean, and this is also another story kind of across the board, except for the St. Louis-Houston game, is red zone efficiency just across the league.
Yeah.
And
It
that-
is so bad.
especially at the end of Saturday,
So
at
bad.
this point, the 2 teams are 2-10 inside the red zone.
Yeah.
It's like, we want to see these teams score.
I mean, I guess in a way, you get those exciting big plays, but not much else, right? That's why you're hitting those unders over and over again.
They're also a new team. You're, getting the rhythm of your new. A lot of teams tried out new quarterbacks this week, so they're just trying to get into their stride, really get into rhythm, and then hopefully that'll pick up with more touchdowns.
Sometimes swapping them out in the same series.
Oh yeah, that was weird. Quentin Flower, yeah, they brought Cornelius back in at the end of a red zone. It just didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I mean, quarterbacks can't get in a rhythm if they're getting taken out in the middle of a series.
I mean, I think the story of this this week's games, it just has to be efficiency. And the teams that can be efficient when it comes to third down and red zone, I mean, I know that's kind of cliche, but, I mean, we really saw it this week. Like, the teams that were efficient, they won. The ones that couldn't capitalize on the opponent's mistakes, they lost. And it's just football fundamentals.
Yes. Did Seattle have a great defense, or is it Tampa Bay's lack of offense?
I think it's Tampa Bay's lack of
I think
offense.
it's
I
lack
would
of
say so.
offense.
Yeah.
I would say so.
So you guys would think these are just two bad teams, and the lesser of two craps won the game.
I mean, I don't think either of them are terrible on the defensive side of the ball. I just think that offensively they can't get anything going. And in this league, like, if you can't score points, you're not going to win.
It's going to be fun to see what Tampa Bay does. I mean, they need a lot of turnaround, especially because they were one of the favorites to win the league to start the season. So
Right.
That's insane that they
And
won
plus,
the
the little
favorites.
thing that they're doing, I know the Wildcats have their claws up, which I absolutely love. David, I know you have a strong opinion about that.
I do.
But the Tampa Bay Viper thing, come on. Like, we got to do something better than this. I mean, it's...
way to show it to our podcast.
Yeah, it's
listeners.
great for
We
an audio
appreciate it.
podcast to do. But well,
Hey, if you're listening, go on YouTube and look at what the fans are doing. They're like crossing their arm and throwing their other arm up like a cobra. It looks stupid.
It could also look like a dragon. It's not a good signal.
that's a good point.
considering,
That's a
you
good
know.
point. Is that a viper? Is that a sea dragon? I don't know.
I don't know. All right, guys. Next game is probably going to be my favorite one to talk about. You guys too? What do you guys think? This next game just was a good one because we were there.
Yeah,
It was a lot of fun. That, like, the environment being there, that was a blast.
yeah.
Yeah, if you're on the fence about going to a game live and you have the opportunity, absolutely go.
It is. It's you know what my only complaint, and it's not even a good complaint, but my only complaint was the game's too fast. I never had time to go get some nachos, and I had time to go to the bathroom. I missed out being on the jumbotron with you guys.
Yeah.
You know, it just moves too fast. You know, but that's not a bad thing. When you're there, you're in, you're out, you're done, you're ready to go on your day.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, it was entertaining. The game itself, I thought LA came out, played a hell of a game. I know we ended up losing. Dallas, they did a good job there in the second half to close it out. But
I got to tell you, at halftime it's 3-3, and I'm going, here we go. After Saturday's games, I'm just like, please God no. But I mean, the second half definitely turned around halfway through.
right,
the third.
our boy Nelson Spruce fucking catching some great
You
passes.
know, we were talking about MVPs. You know, he's on a losing team, that hurts him, but he's making plays. Yeah,
6 catches for 89 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of them was just Sports Center play of the week where they just caught it and stepped right over him.
Right.
All these in a losing effort, so damn it.
But we also saw the first successful 3-point conversion after a touchdown. So we saw a 9-point touchdown,
did?
which was really cool. And that's what got them back in the game and made the game exciting. Like, they were down.
Yeah.
Got 9 points, were down by 1, and then all of a sudden the whole stadium lit up.
Landry Jones, he first 300-yard passing game looked great. It did not start off great though. Started off with 2 interceptions in the game. I'm thinking, what the heck is McGlowan on here? You know.
Right.
I thought it was, overrated, but then he definitely settled down and got into the groove and started making some plays. And then Artemis Payne, their running back.
I called this. I said Artemis Payne. He was my pick for the first double pass, but I mean, I think he's going to be one of my picks going.
Sorry, Artist Payne, not Artemis Payne. That's like a child's mystery novelist character.
He also, also in the corrections department, I kept calling Charlie Kanoff Chad Kanoff. I don't know if that was an incel Freudian slip. Kept calling him a Chad. I hope we don't see him anymore. Josh Johnson looked good.
Josh Johnson did not look good, David. He, especially that last drive.
Elijah Wood did, though. I mean, he did have a big fumble in the red zone, which cost us. And I think, like...
Elijah Hood
did not. Elijah Hood did not. He only had 31 yards, and he lost that key end zone fumble. Josh Johnson also had a key red zone fumble. Ugh. How frustrating is that to watch him
fumble in the red
turn
zone?
it
Yeah,
over?
It's infuriating, especially when it feels like every XFL game I've watched, they turn it over in the red zone. So
I mean, and that is the thing. The turnovers, they're happening all over the place.
Yeah.
There's a lot of turnovers just end of the field, but the fumbles only seem to be happening like 20 yards from the goal line.
when it matters the most,
Yeah.
when ball security should be the most important thing, yeah.
What do you think's... Because we're seeing this all across the league. Do you think this is because we're used to seeing NFL games and, like, really high-level athletes that don't make these kind of mistakes, and now we just don't have that kind of caliber of athletes, or do you think it's mental?
Well, I don't know if you guys have been watching any of NBC's coverage, who does not show any XFL games, but they sure seem to think so. They're crapping all over the XFL. They're saying that it's worse than a B League, and that it's just a bunch of I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just
Week 2.
week 2, of a brand new league.
All right,
Brand new league, brand new team with players you haven't played
Yes.
with before.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll counter that though. Holding on to the ball, that's something you learn throughout your life. Just playing the
I mean,
game.
that's a really good point.
So
Yeah.
here's my question then. Do you think the texture of the XFL ball has anything to do with it?
Well, we got to go on the field and hold the ball after the game, and I found it to be quite
and you're an expert at
holdable.
holding balls.
well, except for when I tried to do the and thank you.
so you're welcome.
Yeah.
I got some bruised ribs from trying to do a toe pick touchdown.
He's playing hurt right now.
yeah.
But, I mean, it
Post-
felt grippy. I mean,
Yeah,
it wasn't slick or anything. It didn't seem
it's got those
weird.
bumps on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if anything, I'd be upset as a kicker, maybe, with the new style. But I don't know, maybe it's like a golf ball, maybe it's even better. But I found it very easy to hold. So, Elijah Hood, figure it out, buddy.
Yeah, gotta be better.
As far as I know, his mom's still alive, so he has no excuse.
No excuse. Like,
Well, I mean, Eli Rogers' team won, so
That's a good point.
I got to throw this out there. We had 10 kickoffs in this game, and not one got close to getting taken back to the house.
all right.
Yeah.
Let's
And
talk about this, Josh.
We've talked about this. They're aware of my theory. They're probably sick of it by now.
If it hasn't happened on the podcast, it hasn't happened. So let's talk about this for the
I
first time.
think that you will not see the entire season a kickoff returned for a touchdown.
We're only 20% through, and you're going to hold on to
I'm
that?
going to say that firmly, and if I'm wrong, I'll admit it.
Do you have a
right here
reasoning
on the
behind
podcast.
that?
I do, and it's because of the way that the blocking and the blocking setup. It doesn't, not having that run down field. Yes, it prevents injuries, but at the same time, it doesn't allow gaps to open up in the coverage.
Yeah, the players aren't able to wander out of their zone.
At most, you're at any given time maybe 7 yards from a defender, which can be substantial, but not if to get through that gap you have to get away or evade one of the other guys.
We were talking about this at the game. Do you have to line up at that certain intervals like that? Can you not, create? I know wedges are, but have more players on one side. Is there?
I mean, presumably,
Because
but then the
they're
kicker would
line-
just kick it on the opposite side.
That's a good point.
Here you go. Can you hurdle a motherfucker? Because if so, then I think there's going to be a kickoff.
I'm telling you, even that hurdle, I think it slows you down enough
Yeah, way
that
too much.
the next
Way too
person
speed.
over is going to be able to catch you. I think any kind of evasion you have to throw out there, the next guy's right there.
Unless you get a crack block, like just a flat back, maybe two flat backs next to each
5
other.
yards next to the guy, it's hard to get one of those blocks.
Well, if you just get a stud some bitch in there to hit somebody,
he plays
that's
in
what
the
it's going to
NFL,
take.
Bear. I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, I will say, I do love that more kickoffs are getting run and returns. Watching touchbacks over and over again, it gets boring.
Yeah.
And so I like the excitement of that, but I'm skeptical that it's gonna.
Now, we did have some
someone's
great
gonna break.
returns. There were some
Yeah,
good
there were some-
returns this week, but
LA
they
had some
never
good returns.
had a chance of really breaking free.
I'm staying firm, saying there will be one. It takes 2 broken tackles, and then that's it. That's it, and I think that can happen.
I would love to be wrong.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna be, so you just watch.
I've got a good track record.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Anything else
What
about
do
this
you
game you guys
think-
want to talk about?
What do you guys think? I think the new slogan that LA is trying to pitch is 8-2 the hard way, which means we're 0-2 right now if we run the gauntlet.
There's not. They play Houston that week or next week.
They play
DC.
DC
I'm sorry.
this coming week,
Yeah.
and then when do they play Houston? The next week?
Well, they played Houston in week
Although,
1.
Oh, yeah, they
how
played-
funny would it have been after they were already pitching 7-3 the hard way?
Yeah.
'Cause
Yeah.
DC's next week.
That
They just got ahead of it in the
Yeah.
marketing department.
They need to because DC's
That's
coming in.
hilarious.
DC's
I would
coming
have
in and-
I would have an 8-2 the hard way shirt, but then I would have a replacement 7-3 the hard way replacement shirt that I would just hand to everybody as they walked out the stadium and be like, "All right, we'll get them next time, you guys." And then I have a 6-4 shirt for the next week.
Well, and then let's not forget who just got traded to that DC team. Guy's got a chip on his shoulder. Anthony Johnson,
Yeah.
who
Good.
was LA's defensive captain, and now he's playing over there, and he's got a winning team. Looks like he played a heck of a game. So I'm sure he's going to
Good
come
luck
in.
blocking him.
Yeah, that's going to be rough.
But I gotta say though, if LA comes out, LA had they had their problems, but they did have their shining moments. So if they come out and play good football, they might have a chance.
Yeah, and well, here's the thing. Here's another thing too. Let's we score. I believe the score was they were down by 1, right? It was 14-15. Was that and then
18-19.
they come down. Dallas scores or they give Dallas the ball back, 14-15, and they give Dallas the ball back, and I'm sitting there going, because there's like 4 minutes left,
Yeah.
and I'm saying, just let them score, let them run this kickoff in and get the ball back, because what are they going to do? They're going to go for 1, and then they're only up by 8. They go for 2, they're up by 9. Still, it's a 1-possession game, and you've got more time. What they let them do was run the clock all the way down to under 2 minutes, score that touchdown at the end, then they go for 1. That was it, and now it's just an 8-point game, or a 7-point. They missed the 1-point conversion, so it was a 7-point game.
But then we were out of time, and then
I think that was a really bad coaching call. I think with these new extra points, we might end up seeing that more. We might see teams letting other teams score.
I can't see that as a good streak.
Well, that was going to be my question to you, Wes. So do you think that it's not happening because there's just something in their gut about strategically you can't let them score, or do you think it just never occurred to them mathematically?
Yeah.
Let them in the end zone. We got it. We got an easy way back because we can get up to 9 points.
I 1,000% think they didn't even think of it. I do.
That's a bold strategy, letting your opponent score.
I mean, but I mean, again, if you got a smart running back, we saw it in the Super Bowl one year when the Giants beat the Patriots the second time. Yeah. Patriots were arguably letting them score on purpose, and the running back sits on his butt at the 1. Smart move and lets the clock run out, and that's what the Renegades could have done. Artis Payne could have. I mean, when he broke that tackle, he could have sat down at the 1 and then let the clock run out. They would have won the game, but he scored that touchdown instead. I don't think they were thinking about it either.
Well, that might be interesting moving forward. Like if we see that with these extra point systems, if we start letting defenses say, "Hey, you know what? Defense, take a break, get a rest, get a water, let them score, let our offense get back out here and punch them in the mouth." Like that would be entertaining.
We'll see.
This was something else also that I think we should mention is that LA's defense looked pretty great, but they spent so much time on the field.
Right. That's why I'm thinking, I don't think this DC game is going to be just an ass whooping or a swamping. Like, I think that our defense played great ball. It's just offense couldn't stay on the field. And so when you're on the field all game long, by the fourth quarter, you're going to be exhausted. Our defense never got a break.
Yeah.
I think we can beat DC next week if we just outrun them, outpass them, outclass them.
Just play better football.
Claws up.
Claws up.
All right, guys. Last game of the week was St.
Before
Louis.
we go, what? You never talked about it. What is your opinion of the claws up, David?
All right, so it's where you cross your arms and then make the. I don't think we need the crossing of the arms. I think the crossing of the. Have you ever seen a cat, like before it sticks its claws up, cross its arms?
Have you ever seen a cat play football?
I would pay money to.
I would pay money to see that too.
That'd be a great XFL team.
Have some mountain lions out there just jacking people.
Yeah, and the Vipers could win a game if they were playing fitness.
Oh, we did. We have seen some pussies on the field. That's right.
All right, moving on. Last game.
All right, was at Houston at Cougar Stadium, but it wasn't
game of the week. I called this too. This was a good
actual
game.
Cougars. St. Louis in a shootout with Houston. Houston would come out on top, 28-24. PJ Walker looks like. I mean, it's him or Cardell Jones. Those are the two picks for the MVP of the league in my eyes. You guys disagree?
I mean, I'm on PJ Walker. That dude's the real deal.
Yeah,
and he led his team.
He had that sidearm pass that was just
to Cam Phillips. Him and Cam Phillips really had a chemistry. He threw 3 touchdowns, all of them to Cam Phillips. 0 interceptions, only 170 yards. That could be more, but it still got the job done, right?
Te'amu had a good game too. I mean, he threw 2 silly picks. One of them shouldn't have counted because there was an offsides call that they missed that I know the St. Louis fans are going nuts about. But
all 2 of them.
Actually, they've got the largest fan base right now.
Oh, I thought Seattle did.
No, I mean with people showing up, but I mean like online, it's St. Louis by and far. And I don't know if it's just that area right there, but yeah,
it's probably all the surrounding states that don't have a team, and so they're all jumping in bandwagoning.
But, Te'amu, I mean, you take those 2 interceptions away, he's right up there in the MVP talking, too. I thought he had a great game.
2 interceptions will lose you a 28-24 game.
And one of those interceptions didn't count. That dude was so offsides. I could not believe that they missed that call.
Yeah, it seems to be the consistency.
Even with after that, though, it was a very terrible pass that he threw. So, but even he was still 30 for 37. He was 7 for 7 before throwing the first pick.
So y'all really aren't going to go with McGloin for MVP right now?
Oh, no. Well,
turn it around. Comeback player of the league.
If he can complete a pass.
The most fantastic player, then that would be him because he's out there acting like a straight. I'm not going to get sexist on this one, but he is acting like a vagina.
Well, I mean, he also when he was talking to his head coach may have not known that he could be.
I
hurt.
loved his head coach. They interview his head coach after halftime, and they go, "Hey, so what do you think about your quarterback saying that?" And the head coach was just like, he said, "What?" Oh, well, I'm going to go have a talk with him.
And then he did.
He said, because he needs to play better.
Yep.
And it was just like, yeah, we know.
We all are watching the same game you're watching, Coach.
I mean, I will say, to give him a little credit, at one point he was asked about throwing an interception, and he said that he made the bad decision. He needs to get better about taking the sack sometimes.
Yeah. Was that before or after he got chewed out?
It was
after.
before.
Oh,
I thought it was after.
I think it was before.
Okay.
I believe it was after, because he threw a terrible pick right after. I mean, maybe before and after.
He also missed a read on the outside where he had somebody break away that would have been a great touchdown.
I love that, too, that the announcers were just chewing him apart. I don't mean to switch back to this game again, but, you know, they were talking about the sluggo routes and how he kept on missing the sluggo. And they kept showing old replays. I'm like, there's another one he missed. And it's just like, damn, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
When it rains, it pours on McGloin.
Yeah. I mean,
But he's a Penn State quarterback, so, you know, he gets it. Yeah. He got what he deserves. It all comes around in the end. Which was also their slogan, I think.
Penn State. Anything else you guys want to add to the St. Louis and Houston game?
I'm a fan of both teams. I
agree.
I don't think St. Louis is in any danger. I think they're going to be competitive. I think they have a chance to make it to the playoffs.
I got Houston and DC. That's not an out there pick for their McMahon Bowl or whatever they're calling their Super Bowl, but
right.
You know,
the $1 million game.
Is that what they're going to call it again?
That's
The McMahon Cup?
Yeah. Oh well. I mean, maybe. And then
XFL
they just have a
Mania.
jockstrap, a
It's a
golden
belt.
jockstrap.
It's a championship belt.
Nice. That would be great.
That would be great.
That would be great.
At the end,
Instead
you've got to
of
climb
getting
the ladder.
Super Bowl rings, you get Super Bowl belts
That'd
with
be cool.
spinners on them. Yeah, dude, I'm in for that. Those are the two teams I've got. But, you know, St. Louis isn't far behind.
I agree.
It's a good team. And Tayama he's a young quarterback, too. So, you know.
And I'm biased, but I think LA's the sleeper right now. With the way that our defense
agree.
played, like, if our offense can, like, figure out what's going on, capitalize on these mistakes, you know, get those snuffed out.
The only sleeper is you, because you are dreaming if you think LA is going to turn it around. There's too much
I
going
think
on.
they're a solid fourth place team.
Oh,
I
man.
think, that'll
In their
make the
division?
playoffs. That'll make the playoffs.
That
Top
fourth
four
place,
teams in the
yeah, that's playoffs, man.
I mean, it's right now. It's this. LA's motto should be, at least we're not Tampa Bay. Okay, that's all I got. I mean,
I'll take it, honestly.
When do they play Tampa Bay?
I don't know. We need to go to that game
Next
because
week.
we'll actually win that one.
Next week, Tampa Bay has Houston.
If we lose to
They play
Tampa
them in
Bay,
Week 5.
I'm burning my LA shirt and buying.
You know what, guys? There is hope after all. After the DC whooping we're gonna get. Week 4 is the Guardians, followed by Tampa Bay.
But it's at Guardians. They play better at home.
Yeah, and in week 1, the Guardians, I mean, again, they were playing Tampa Bay, but
nice. We got Vipers at home. That'll be a win.
So there we go.
And then followed up by Seattle at Seattle.
if you're listening and you're in Los Angeles, come to the games, and when you see us, you'll see me with my mullet, and you'll see us in our XFLOL podcast t-shirts.
Oh, yeah.
Come say hi, come take a picture with us.
First person or first people on the Jumbotron. I mean, it was so many people came up to us, said hi, took pictures, asked about the podcast. Probably aren't listening, but
Hey, come on.
if you are, come say hi to us.
Yeah.
Comment on the YouTube video.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, send us some emails. We only got one listener email this week, so
Right. And you know we do the segment where we get questions from y'all and you ask our opinions on anything football related, XFL related, so send them in. We'd be happy to answer.
All right, let's go into the picks. Last week, me and Bear both went. David and Bear both went 2-2 on our picks. Wesley went a perfect 4-0.
4-0, baby. I
So,
knew it.
If you're betting, I think you might want to start listening to Wes because he picked up on all 4 picks. Can he do it again this week? Houston at Tampa. Wes, what do you got?
Oh, yeah, that's a hard one. Gonna go with my boy PJ Walker beating the worst team in the league. So Houston for sure on that one. What is the spread? Anybody know that one?
No idea.
I'll give them 21 points. I don't care. There is no way Tampa Bay
I'm gonna write
is.
that down. I'm gonna write down Houston plus 21.
Do it.
They seemed very generous with the spreads this week. I think it was DC was a 7-point favorite and they won 27-0.
Yeah.
Josh, welcome to the picks. Who do you got for Tampa at Houston at Tampa?
I mean, not to be, unexciting or anything, but Houston all the way.
That's true.
Yeah, I'm also not going to pick against Houston right now. Like, they're going to have to make some mistakes for me to not pick them.
It's at Tampa, and those fans, those poor fans might show up and make some noise.
I know they're going
It
to be
might be
doing
the
those.
noise of crying, but
They've been doing those Viper hands. They might get them, may distract them. You never know. But I'm picking Houston.
Houston looks too good in my eyes, and plus I like to make this fun, so I'm gonna take Tampa to finally turn it around, get a big win over Houston.
That would be a huge win for
They're going to
them.
need a new quarterback.
But it's at Tampa, and maybe Mark Trestman can get this team turned around. I don't know. We'll see.
So we know what David thinks. Wes, Bear, do you think Tampa Bay finally gets their first offensive touchdown?
Yes, I do think they will get a touchdown. I think it'll be something goofy. I think it'll be like off somebody's forehead onto like a guy that was picking his nose in the corner and not paying attention. I think it'll be something weird. But I do think, 3 weeks, they've got to get an offensive touchdown.
I'm going to say no.
No?
I'm going to say no.
They don't have a touchdown, period, do they?
They have a defensive touchdown.
I don't think they did that. No, there was 3. They only scored 3 points, right? That first game?
First game they scored 3, and they scored a defensive touchdown against Seattle.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's right.
Josh, what do you
are
think?
I think they'll score a touchdown.
Okay.
Emphasis on the a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm going multiple touchdowns. I'm actually going to put 2 check marks on my name. By the way, my picking of Tampa Bay is them covering the 21-point spread that Wesley gave them. Next game is Dallas at Seattle. Dallas looking good, especially with Landry Jones back. Wes, who do you got?
It's at Seattle?
It's at Seattle.
Who? It's hard to tell if Landry Jones was really starting to get into his rhythm there at the end. I know Artis Payne definitely was, but I think the fans are going to show up at Seattle. I think it's going to rattle them. They're kickers. That's a hard stadium to kick in. That's going to be tough for them. So I'm going to go with the Sea Dragons on this one, I think. Seattle needs this win, I believe. So, yeah, that's going to be my pick on that one.
Bear, we're going to jump to you. Who do you got?
I am going to agree with Wes on this one. I'm not trying to agree with you on everything, but I don't think Dallas won that game this week as much as LA lost it. So I feel like Dallas still has a lot of room to improve, even though they did win. And I feel like Seattle at home, that's going to be too tough of an environment to play in. I'm picking the Dragons. The Sea Dragons.
Josh, who you got?
I think I'm also going to go with Seattle, actually, but I will say the main reason I'm doing that is I've seen both teams play, and I think that in LA, with the number of fans that we had there, Dallas's offense was having trouble in the end zones with the crowd noise.
Yes.
And that was not even half the number that showed up in Seattle.
Less than 15,000 than what Seattle had show up last week.
Right, and I don't think they're going to be able to play under that pressure.
And I think that's going to get to them, and I think that red zone efficiency is going to stay low for them, and so I'm going to go Seattle.
Yeah.
Are they going to keep showing up, though, especially if Seattle doesn't really put together that much offense? I don't think it's going to bug Dallas that much. I think Dallas is starting to get to a stride, especially with their running game and Cameron's Artis Payne. Yeah, I'm going to take Dallas on this, the Renegades, over the Sea Dragons. Next game is New York at St. Louis.
Hold on, while we're moving on, for those of you that are just now listening now, we're calling them the Sea Dragons because I made a stupid mistake on the first episode and didn't realize it was the Seattle Dragons when it was abbreviated.
And with a week under my belt, I like the name better.
Sea Dragons?
Sea Dragons is kind of a cool name. I made fun of it in week 1, but now that a week thinking about it and then seeing the mistake you did where it's, they abbreviate Seattle and put Dragons.
Yeah.
Pretty cool name.
Yeah, I'm calling them Sea Dragons from now until the XFL is no longer a thing. So
good.
All right, what about the Guardians?
The Guardians versus that's at Seattle.
The Battlehawks.
No, it's at St. Louis.
St. Louis. I'm sorry. Yes. The Battlehawks just came off a rough loss. They're gonna put it on New York. New York's not gonna come back around. There's too much drama going there. I just don't see it. I mean, if we get to even if New York's defense showed up like it did in week 1, which I don't even know now if it was a good defense.
Or if it was just Tampa Bay playing like dog shit.
So, I mean, but even if, Seattle, and it's at Seattle, St. Louis, I'm sorry, I keep doing it. It's at St. Louis. They have been chomping at the bits for a team ever since the Rams left. They're playing in the Rams' old stadium. Yeah, I'm giving this one all day long to St. Louis.
Yeah, I'm taking St. Louis as well. I think they're just the home team is going to take this one, and they deserve it. And they're going to be a tough team to beat this year. Josh?
I'm struggling with this one. I think that St. Louis is going to come out on top, but I think that, honestly, New York has the best upset potential of the week for me.
That's an interesting pick.
Wait, your pick was?
St. Louis will win it. but I think New York has upset potential.
I mean,
I mean, honestly, I got to go with my gut, and my gut says never pick the Guardians again. I know I was all riding Guardian Dick last week, but after this week, Jesus Christ, that was terrible. That was embarrassing. I'm embarrassed to have ever picked them or been associated with them. So I'm going St. Louis.
I believe
all day.
McGloin said that at the end of the game. That was the most embarrassing game he has ever been a part of, and those are strong words.
Yeah, because he played for the Raiders.
Yeah.
All right, last game of the week: DC versus LA at LA. You guys going? Who's going?
I mean, if I get free tickets, I'll go, but I don't. I just,
I want to see DC play. I want to go. Do you want to go, Josh?
We'll figure it out.
I'll
gotta
tell you
work.
what, in high school, I never liked watching my friends get beat up. When there was a fight and I knew my friends were going to get beat up, I just didn't go. And that's how I feel right here. I
You're
just
a
don't
great
want,
friend. You don't go back your friend up. You're
what
like,
do you want me to do? They're not going to let me play tight end,
I mean, I want to see the defenders live. I want to see how they look in person, and I want to go. So
Yeah. I mean, I if we can get seats like we did last time, we got great seats, 4 rows back. That was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm not counting it out. An excuse to
You
go
got
get drunk.
standing room only tickets too that are really, really reasonable. So,
But with that being said, my pick, DC Defenders. I've got to.
killing me, Smalls.
I think that LA has the biggest upset potential this week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick the Los Angeles Wildcats. Claws up. Let's go, Cats. Let's go.
8-2 the hard way. I'm also going LA. I'm gonna go for the home team. DC's good, but LA's their kryptonite. I don't know. It's a long flight. Maybe it'll tire them out. I don't know.
I mean, I agree with the biggest chance for upset. I do. Josh Johnson comes in there and he shook the rust off and he can get in there and he can play good. Maybe. Nelson Spruce, of course, is he can go in there and go off like he did last time. Their running game's got to get better. 31 yards. Is that what we said?
Uh-huh.
It's not going to cut it.
Yeah, but Hood was running with his shoulders down. Like
Yeah.
he didn't have a whole lot of production, but I think that's going to turn around this week.
Yeah, it did look. I mean, I agree with you when you said that you thought he had a good game. From where we were sitting, it did seem like he had a good game. But we were sitting, where we couldn't see how many yards he was getting.
Yeah.
So.
Josh, what's your pick?
I got to go with DC. LA, their offense, they didn't kick it into the second half. DC, they go wire to wire. I mean, they play pretty good the whole game. Both games so far.
Now, you unintentionally brought up a really good point. What if they are just because in the second half their offense did get going? What if it is? What if the spark has been,
I mean,
ignited?
if they come playing out of the gate like they played the second half,
Yeah.
then I think they have a strong chance.
Yeah.
Especially with the way their defense plays. If their offense can stay on the field and get their defense a break where they're not leaving them hanging the entire game,
Yeah.
I really think our LA team is looking really good.
Yeah. All right.
To win the season, who's your favorite right now, Wes? 2 games in.
To win the season,
To win the season.
that's a tough one. I'm gonna have to go. I mean, against Houston
Josh.
and DC, I think.
Josh or Bear, same question.
Again, I think it's DC and Houston. DC looks to have the better defense. It's in their name. Defense wins championships. I think they thought this one through. Defenders, I have to win it all. Cardell Jones hasn't lost since high school. He's undefeated in college. Didn't play in the NFL. Didn't play for the Raiders.
I'm going to go with Dallas, the Renegades. Got to see them play this week. They're starting to bring it together. Their rushing game's looking better. Their passing game's looking better. Landry Jones is the number 1 pick overall. Why wouldn't they be the favorites to win?
Best coach in the league.
2 games in, I think Houston's had the tougher schedule so far, and I think Houston wins it.
Yeah.
Just 2 games in.
Josh?
I think that the Tampa Bay Vipers have the best chance at a perfect record.
Yeah, perfectly bad.
Yeah, but I think I'm gonna go with Houston on this one because I think have had a harder schedule the first 2 weeks, and they've scored more points than the Defenders in both their games.
And PJ Walker's legit.
Yeah.
He's good.
He's
Well, and
fun
then,
to
like
watch.
I said last week too, it's a coach's league, and I'll tell you what, Pep Hamilton coming out of nowhere. The guy is composed. He's making the right calls. The guy's a good coach.
That's a really good point. He is. And it's fun to watch his team play.
Yeah.
Did
And then
you
on the
guys-
other side, did you guys see the
Winston
picture-
Moss?
Winston Moss, LA's coach,
Just over there man-spreading on the bench.
sitting on the bench all by himself, just spread all the way out.
Hey, man, when you got big nuts, you got to spread them. I mean, that's just the way it is.
All right, guys. Fantasy players of the next week. Any big players that you think are going to put up some numbers?
I'm going to keep, even though Tampa Bay's looking real shitty right now, I'm going to keep an eye on Marcellus Branch, safety for Tampa Bay. I like the way that dude plays football. He's a savage. He's got a chip on his shoulder. He plays mean. He plays aggressive. He's coming to bring the boom. I like it a lot.
Safety from
Tampa Bay.
Are we doing one offense, one defense?
No, just do one player overall.
Okay.
I'm going to go with this cat from Dallas, the team that I have to pick it all, Donald Parham. He had 6 catches and 76 yards and a touchdown.
But I was at that game. He walked off the field 6 or 7 times to go in the back. He's dealing with something.
Yeah, he's got an injury or
I
something
saw
he's
that.
dealing with.
Yeah, I saw him walk to the back a couple times. So, take a look at that. He did score a touchdown.
He also
after.
came back and scored a touchdown
Yeah.
after walking
So-
through. He's a big dude. He's 6'7".
Yeah, he is
We
huge.
saw him in person, and he's going to be a fun target to throw to. He actually had a lot of targets in that game. So, tight end / receiver from Dallas. Parham. Wesley?
I'm going to go with the guy I think will score the most points next week. I'd like to go defense. I really like Matt Elam for the defenders. Looked really good. He looked really good. Had a pick. But I'm going to go with somebody who I think is going to score the most points. Matt McGloin, I think, will score the most points for whatever team he's playing against.
Against?
Yeah. He is going to be, by far, the MVP for St. Louis. I guarantee it. I'm calling it right now. The guy is going to put up big numbers. Now, Nelson Spruce, at some point they got to start double teaming that guy. So I think I would like to say him, but I think the secret's out. I think they know
cat's
now.
out of the bag. The Wildcat's out of the bag, rather. Nelson Spruce is our best receiver.
He
right
also had Melvin Gordon and another running back.
So I'm gonna go. I'm actually, I'm sorry to do. I got to go. PJ Walker. He's going up against the lame
PJ.
Tampa defense.
Got it.
So PJ Walker's my guess for just really taking a huge lead on an MVP race. Josh.
Anybody except Tampa Bay's kicker.
Yeah.
Just pick somebody that's kicking field goals. No. Honestly, my answer is Nelson Spruce.
Yeah.
I mean, he was, I think he caught 6 of the 9 passes thrown his way, put up 2 touchdowns. I think now that offense is clicking, it's just going to keep going that direction, and I think he's going to keep putting up numbers for the Wildcats.
Yeah.
Going
And
up
I
against
said
the
it, I
tough
said it
DC
last
team.
game too, last time too. He's got that Wes Welker, that Julian Edelman. The ball's coming his way, but for some reason nobody can stop him in that slot receiver position. You can't really double team that position. So yeah, I mean you could, but you got to put a linebacker. That's just a tough position to guard. So and he's playing it lights out.
All right, who is in charge of fan questions? Because that's where we're at right now.
That's me. We had one email today. Let me look it up. While I look it up, I want to go ahead and say my lock of the week is going to be take the under on the first quarter on every game. So, because there has not been a lot of scoring to start off.
First quarter or first half?
First half, you could do as well. I mean, but whatever the under is, take it.
the whole game. I mean, they've hit on every game but 2 so far?
Has there been a game that's gone over 40 points yet for one team? No, for one team.
No.
Yeah.
I don't know. We're the podcast that people are listening to listen to. Nah, we don't do that.
Comedy XFL.
LO. Yeah. LOL.
Yeah, no, nobody's gotten over 40 yet.
Yeah.
But I think next week there's a chance.
Yeah. All right, moving on to our fan questions. We got one email here. This says, "Hey y'all, great first episode. Claws up." So obviously an LA fan.
Nice.
I know Vince McMahon owns both the WWE and the XFL. What are the similarities and differences between the way he treats the players and the way he treats the wrestlers? For example, are XFL players independent contractors like his wrestlers? So that's actually a really good question. They are not. These are signed contract players, unlike WWE wrestlers who have to be. And I guess the reasoning behind that is you want to be most like the NFL. You really couldn't be an NFL, or you couldn't be an independent contractor, especially with injuries,
Yeah.
So, and with travel, with a team-based thing, it's a little bit easier to do because then you're just buying travel for the whole team instead of individually.
As far as how he treats them, are they asking on a personal level how he treats them?
I don't know. I'm sure it's the same where he doesn't know their names.
Yeah, I'm sure he's just raking in the money. He's
Yeah.
probably happy with how successful it is so far because it does seem successful. We got 30,000 in Seattle, had 15,000 or 14,000 in LA.
Yeah.
Like he's
Here's
getting
my
people to come out.
question: is how much is Vince McMahon paying us
Not enough.
to put out this quality content every single week?
Well,
I mean, we are officially the unofficial XFL podcast.
And we're fans, too. We're actually going to these games.
That's right.
And
He's got my money.
We're among the true fans, which are you people who listen to these kind of podcasts. So thank you for that.
So, yeah, come out to LA this week. We'll be there. Some of us will be. I don't know if we're going to be able to talk the Twins into going, but I think I can talk Josh into going. So.
Sure. Man, you know what? Just bring our T-shirts and then give them to some homeless people. And then just say, this is the Twins right here, you know?
Yep.
So,
yeah.
There you go. It'll be about the same experience than meeting my drunken ass. So, there we go. Plus, I gotta get over this injury, man. I took a big bump in the end zone.
Oh, yeah. Be paying attention to the XFLOL Instagram because there's going to be a video coming up, a slow-motion video of Wesley Kleitch eating shit in the end zone this week. It was hilarious.
I didn't even make the catch.
At XFLOL Podcast. That's on Twitter and Instagram. And also YouTube. Give us a like and subscribe. SoundCloud to listen to us. We're going to keep putting content out for you guys to listen to. Thank you for doing it.
Everybody want to give our social media real quick before we log out?
Sure, yeah. You can follow me and David at Kleitch Bros. That's KleitchBros on Twitter, Instagram, and also Pornhub. That's right. Yeah, we just started doing some Twincest videos.
Patreon.
That's really popular. Yeah,
It's really hot. I've jacked off like 700 times to it already.
Yeah.
So you should definitely check it out.
yeah. Which was not professional because you were holding the camera. So,
But hey, man, how else am I going to get my hand to stick to it?
there we go. Josh.
You can follow me anywhere social media is peddled at Oglewhelmed, O-G-L-E, whelmed like overwhelmed, but Oglewhelmed.
And me, I'm at Bear the Comic, BAIRTHECOMIC. That's on everything, at Bear the Comic.
Week 2 in the books. Thanks for listening. See you next week.
Thanks, guys.